What if the Bible's most epic stories, tales of floods, miracles, and fallen walls, aren't just faith, but fact? Join us as we uncover 10 biblical events backed by modern science, with a final twist that will leave you speechless. Welcome to Astro Realms, where ancient stories meet modern discovery. The Bible, humanity's most cherished and scrutinized text, isn't just a cornerstone of faith, it's a tapestry of events that echo through time. Spanning millennia from Genesis to the Gospels, its narratives have shaped cultures and sparked debates. But what if science could illuminate these sacred stories? Buckle up, because we're diving into 10 biblical events backed by archaeological finds, historical records, and cutting-edge science. Some will astonish you, and the last one? It's a game-changer. Let's explore the intersection of faith and fact, where the past comes alive and whispers, "He is risen." Noah's Ark, a floating feat of physics. In a quiet corner of the University of Leicester in 2014, four physics students embarked on a curious quest to unravel the secrets of an ancient tale, Noah's Arkansas. Armed with the Book of Genesis and the ancient cubit, roughly 19 inches, they sketched the ark's form, a mighty vessel stretching 476 feet long, 79 feet wide, and 46 feet tall, akin to a modern cargo ship. Imagining it crafted from gopher wood, likely the sturdy cypress favored by ancient shipwrights, they calculated its empty weight at a hefty 2.6 million pounds. The numbers danced on their pages, weaving a story where science met scripture, as they sought to test the plausibility of a legend that had sailed through time. With Archimedes' principle as their guide, the students delved deeper, discovering that this biblical behemoth could indeed float, bearing an astonishing 112 million pounds of cargo. Picture Noah, his family, and a menagerie of creatures, great and small, crowded aboard, alongside provisions to weather a world-swallowing flood. Though their calculations didn't prove the tale's truth, they revealed a marvel. The ark's design held fast under the scrutiny of physics, its ancient blueprint capable of defying the waves. In their equations, the students bridged millennia, showing that the story of Noah's Ark could stand firm not just in faith, but in the laws of the natural world. 2. The Pool of Siloam, a miracle's real address. In the ancient city of Jerusalem, where dusty paths wound around sacred hills, a blind man stumbled through life, his world cloaked in darkness. One fateful day, as told in John 9, Jesus, with compassion in his touch, smeared mud upon the man's sightless eyes and spoke words that carried the weight of miracles, "Go, wash in the pool of Siloam." Obediently, the man found his way to the pool's edge, its waters shimmering with promise. As he rinsed the earth from his eyes, light flooded his vision for the first time, and the pool of Siloam became more than a place, it became a vessel of divine wonder, etched into the heart of a city where faith and stone intertwined. Centuries later, in 2005, Jerusalem's ancient whispers stirred once more when sewer workers, digging through the city's southern reaches, uncovered stone steps worn smooth by time. Archaeologists descended, their tools unearthing a grand reservoir from the Second Temple era, its sophisticated channels matching the Gospel's quiet mention of the Pool of Siloam. Nestled near the temple path, this was no mere legend but a tangible relic, its hydraulic design a testament to the era's ingenuity. The discovery wove together the threads of story and history, proving that the pool where a blind man saw was not just a backdrop to a miracle, but a real place where the sacred and the earthly met, its waters still echoing with the weight of truth. 3. Solomon's Wall, a king's fortress unearthed. In the shadow of Jerusalem's ancient Temple Mount, where whispers of history linger in the stones, archaeologist Eilat Mazar unearthed a marvel in 2010 that seemed to echo the tales of a legendary king. Deep in the offal area, her team uncovered a colossal wall, stretching 230 feet long and rising 20 feet high, its weathered stones forming a guardhouse and tower. This was no ordinary ruin, it matched the biblical verses in 1 Kings, which spoke of King Solomon, the wise ruler of the 10th century BCE, fortifying his city with unmatched grandeur. As the earth yielded this mighty structure, it was as if Solomon himself had left a message carved in stone, proclaiming his reign's strength and splendor for all to see. For years, skeptics had cast doubt on the Bible's tales, dismissing Solomon's kingdom as mere myth woven by storytellers. Yet, the discovery of this formidable wall stood as a defiant rebuttal, its very existence breathing life into the ancient words. More than just a barrier, it revealed Jerusalem as a thriving hub of power and defense in Solomon's time, a city worthy of a king renowned for his wisdom and ambition. Each stone unearthed seemed to challenge the doubters, whispering that the past was real, that Solomon's legacy as a grand architect was no fable but a truth etched into the heart of the holy city. 4. The Tower of Babel, from myth to Mesopotamian reality. Once, in the ancient sands of Mesopotamia, a people gazed skyward, their hearts swollen with ambition to build a tower that would kiss the heavens. This was no mere dream but a monumental ziggurat, a stepped pyramid rising defiantly under the rule of Nebuchadnezzar II. A Babylonian tablet, etched centuries ago, captures this vision, a towering structure crowned by a spear-wielding figure, a testament to human ingenuity and pride. Yet, in the biblical tale of Genesis 11, this grand endeavor becomes a cautionary story, where divine judgment scatters the builders, their unified tongue fractured into many. The tablet, discovered long after, whispers that this myth may have roots in a real, ancient marvel, blurring the edges of legend and history. Through the lens of Hebrew theology, the story of the Tower of Babel transformed this Mesopotamian reality into a timeless allegory of hubris and divine will. Scholar Andrew George, peering into the tablet's weathered lines, sees not just a ziggurat but a bridge between fact and faith. The artifact challenges us to reconsider the tale, not as pure fiction but as a memory of a people's bold reach for eternity, reshaped by sacred storytelling. What was once a structure of stone and ambition now stands as a question: where does myth end and history begin? The tablet, silent yet eloquent, invites us to ponder the truths woven into the stories we inherit. 5. Pontius Pilate, the governor's name in stone. In the shadow of Jerusalem's ancient stones, where tales of faith and power intertwine, the name of Pontius Pilate once lingered as a whisper of doubt. The Gospels painted him as the Roman governor who, with a heavy heart and wavering will, sentenced Jesus to the cross. Yet, for centuries, skeptics waved away his existence, claiming he was but a shadow conjured by Scripture, with no mark in the annals of history to prove his role. The world knew little of this man beyond the pages of faith, and his story seemed destined to remain a contested legend, lost in the sands of Judea. Then, in 1961, the earth yielded a secret that turned whispers into stone. At Caesarea Maritima, where the Mediterranean's waves kissed the ruins of Roman glory, archaeologists unearthed a limestone slab bearing a Latin inscription. It declared boldly, Pontius Pilate, prefect of Judea, dedicated a temple to Emperor Tiberius. Dated to the years 14 to 37 CE, this relic anchored Pilate to the very time of Jesus, binding the governor's name to the crucible of the crucifixion. Now resting in Jerusalem's Israel Museum, the stone stands as a silent witness, transforming a figure once doubted into a cornerstone of history, etched forever in the tale of a world remade. 6. The City of the Spring, David's sacred stronghold. In the ancient texts of 1 Samuel and 1 Kings, the City of the Spring emerges as a pivotal stronghold where David secured his conquests and Solomon was anointed as king. Located in Jerusalem's City of David National Park, this site, identified through decades of excavation by the Israel Antiquities Authority, reveals a Canaanite fortress constructed 3,800 years ago around the vital Gin Spring. The fortress, with its sophisticated network of tunnels and robust defensive structures, underscores its strategic importance, serving as a testament to the enduring power and presence of the Hebrew kingdom as described in biblical accounts. The discovery of this ancient stronghold validates the biblical narrative, confirming the City of the Spring as a political and spiritual epicenter of David's reign. Far from being mere legend, the archaeological evidence highlights the kingdom's might, showcasing advanced engineering and urban planning that protected the life-giving spring. This remarkable find bridges history and scripture, offering tangible proof of a sacred site that shaped the identity and legacy of ancient Israel. 7. The Red Sea Crossing, Miracle Meets Meteorology. The biblical account of the Red Sea parting, as described in Exodus, portrays a divine miracle where Moses raises his staff, and the waters split to form a path for the Israelites to escape Egypt. This awe-inspiring event has long been seen as a cornerstone of faith, emphasizing God's intervention to save his people. The image of towering walls of water yielding a dry passage is a powerful testament to divine power, with the sea closing back to engulf the pursuing Egyptians, solidifying the miracle's dramatic impact. Scientist Carl Drews offers a naturalistic perspective, modeling a potential location in the Nile Delta's Lake of Tanis, where 59 miles per hour winds could produce a wind set-down effect, temporarily exposing a land bridge. This phenomenon finds a parallel in a 1994 Philippine tsunami, where the sea receded before a wave, suggesting a plausible mechanism. While the Bible underscores divine agency, Drew's work proposes that meteorological forces could align with the narrative, blending faith and physics to suggest nature may have been the tool of the miracle. 8. Jericho's Fall, Walls That Tumbled Down. Around 1400 BCE, the ancient city of Jericho, one of the oldest known settlements dating back to 8000 BCE, met a dramatic fate as described in Joshua 6 of the Bible. The biblical account tells of Israelite trumpets and shouts that miraculously toppled the city's formidable walls, leading to a swift conquest. Archaeological excavations, notably by Kathleen Kenyon, uncovered evidence of these collapsed walls, supporting the timeline of Joshua's era and revealing the city's sudden downfall. Further studies by Dr. Bryant would bolster this narrative, as he identified outward fallen walls and jars filled with grain, suggesting no prolonged siege but rather an abrupt destruction. These findings align strikingly with the biblical story of a rapid victory, lending historical credibility to the dramatic collapse of Jericho's defenses. The convergence of archaeology and scripture paints a vivid picture of a pivotal moment where faith and strategy brought down an ancient stronghold. 9. The Babylonian Captivity, Exiles in Ancient Records. In 586 BCE, the Babylonian exile of the Jews, as described in biblical texts like 2 Kings, Jeremiah, and Daniel, marked a defining moment in Jewish history. Initially met with skepticism by some scholars, the event's historicity was solidified through the discovery of Babylonian tablets from cities like Nippur and Babylon. These ancient records, inscribed with Hebrew names, document Jewish exiles living under Babylonian rule, providing tangible evidence that aligns with the biblical narrative of displacement and captivity. Among the most significant finds is the Jehoiakim tablet, unearthed in 1899, which corroborates the account in 2 Kings of Judah's king receiving provisions while in exile. These cuneiform records not only confirm the scale of the exile but also transform a once-debated biblical tragedy into a well-documented historical event. The tablets serve as a critical pivot, bridging ancient scripture with archaeological evidence and affirming the presence and survival of Jewish exiles in Babylon. 10. Barabbas' Cross, the Ultimate Sacrifice Revealed. The crucifixion of Jesus Christ lies at the core of Christianity, its significance amplified by a profound detail: Jesus died on a cross originally intended for Barabbas, a murderer spared by the crowd's decision. In Aramaic, Barabbas translates to "son of the Father," symbolizing humanity's sinfulness, with Jesus taking on the punishment meant for us all. The Roman practice of custom-building crosses meant Barabbas' cross was ill-fitted for Jesus, requiring soldiers to dislocate his arm to secure him. This act of sacrifice underscores a divine love, calling believers to emulate Jesus by taking up their own cross, as urged in Matthew 16 verse 24. The Bible transcends its role as a religious text, serving as a historical record substantiated by scientific and archaeological discoveries. From the remnants of Noah's Ark to the ruins of Jericho, and from the inscription of Pontius Pilate to the cross meant for Barabbas, these findings reveal God's presence in tangible details. This invites exploration and sharing of the truth, encouraging faith to grow through inquiry and evidence. Further resources, including a forthcoming video and an ebook with 10 biblical inspirations, are offered to deepen one's spiritual journey. Conclusion. The Bible stands as more than a sacred text, it's a living record of history, etched in stone, clay, and science. From the physics-defying ark to the cross meant for a criminal, each discovery reveals a divine signature woven into the smallest details. These 10 events aren't just stories, they're proof that faith and fact can intertwine, pointing to a grander plan. Like, subscribe, and share this journey with someone searching for truth. Grab our ebook with 10 biblical inspirations to deepen your path, link below. Faith grows with every revelation, so keep exploring, and may God guide your way. Top 5 FAQs related to 10 biblical events proven by science. How does science validate the story of Noah's Ark? Science doesn't confirm a global flood, but a 2014 University of Leicester study showed the Ark's biblical dimensions, 476 by 79 by 46 feet, could theoretically float and carry millions of pounds, enough for animals and supplies, using cypress wood and Archimedes' principle. Is there real evidence for the Pool of Siloam? Yes, in 2005, archaeologists uncovered a Second Temple-era reservoir in Jerusalem's Old City, matching John 9's description of the Pool of Siloam, confirming its historical and geographical accuracy as the site of Jesus' miracle. Was King Solomon's Wall actually found? In 2010, archaeologist Eilot Mazar discovered a 230-foot-long, 20-foot-high fortified wall from the 10th century BCE in Jerusalem's Ophel area, aligning with Solomon's reign and proving the city's advanced infrastructure. Does the Tower of Babel have a historical basis? A Babylonian tablet, depicting a stepped ziggurat and linked to Nebuchadnezzar II, suggests the biblical Tower of Babel may be inspired by real Mesopotamian structures, reinterpreted through Hebrew theology. What evidence supports the existence of Pontius Pilate? A 1961 discovery in Caesarea Maritima, a limestone slab inscribed with Pontius Pilate, prefect of Judea, confirms his historical role as governor during 14 to 37 CE, aligning with the Gospel's account of Jesus' crucifixion.